The question was a knife through her. I'm, Trixie. 'Cause I can do, tricks. I suppose the look she was trying to go for was sultry, but delivered pathetic. 12 bits. Please. Trixie. Who the hey was Trixie? I opened my mouth, reconsidered, then forced a smile. Sure. I never saw a unicorn look so relieved to earn so little. I'd found that many bits just sorted through the trash. Thanks. You know, I'm really good. So maybe you might, pay more? If I am, I mean. Somehow it didn't register that I didn't have a way of keeping money on me. Either she couldn't tell in this memory, projection, or she just really was bad at this. She led me into a nearby motel just down the street. Rent's due, Trixie, the sour lemon buck said without looking up from his television. Better fuck a gold mine out of her. I wanted to shoot him right then and there for the shame on her face, but she didn't say a word. No comeback comment. Nothing. From the shame in her eyes, it was clear she was hoping to get a gold mine out of me, so to speak. The dingy little room had a musky smell to it, and the sole bulb painted everything in amber. Still, there were posters on the wall, aged and delicate things showing a mare on stage, while bold letters declared, "Behold the great and powerful Trixie." There were pictures of her animating a rope, of summoning a swirling magical cloud. I looked away from the posters to ask about them. She was trying to do a striptease, and was so bad at it I hadn't even noticed. So, do you like what you see? She said as she climbed onto the bed. I didn't. I didn't want to have sex with her. I wanted to hug her, but a hug would kill her. Still, I went through the motions with her. It wasn't good. This wasn't good. No amount of sex should have that many quiet tears. When we finally gave up and lay there together, she stared at my chest. I stroked her mane. It needed a good washing. So, again, baby? She added as she darted to meet my eye. I killed her with a look. My expression crumbled her like a tin can as she shook. I'm sorry, she whispered. All I could think of was kind as Trixie clung to me in that filthy room, surrounded by walls of failed dreams. If things had been different. But I stroked her softly. I'd maimed her with my pity. Not even worth one bit. Worthless. I knew that feeling. I knew what it was like to feel undeserving, unwanted, unneeded. To think my life amounted to just a legacy of murder and death. I cuddled with this strange mare, wondering who she was. How was she in this nightmare of lacunas? I touched my horn to hers. I don't think you're worthless. I whispered in her ear, kissing her softly. I wanted to take her away from here, protect her, prove her wrong, and find out about the mare in the pictures. But I was 200 years too late. The room dissolved into a cloud of blue sparks, and I was on that wind-scoured stone. As they disappeared inside of me, I felt the slow decay of a mare's life. Failure after failure, till all that was left was turning tricks in a dirty motel room. I wondered what had happened to Trixie. Had she died in that place when the bombs fell? No. She must have survived long enough for unity. Somehow. How else could she have been inside Lacuna? I had self-loathing and self-worthlessness coiled inside of me. I looked at the tree with trepidation. What was Lacuna? A toxic angst dump? As I approached the tree, I saw it wasn't just a tree, but some kind of building. I ran my eyes over the sign out front. Ponyville Library? And the weirdness just keeps on coming, I said as I took a deep breath and slowly pushed the door open. I would have loved to see something bright and clean, but the library looked as if it had been ransacked. Dozens of books lay in disarray, some piled in heaps, others scattered and ripped. "Spike, is that you?" A mare called from the stairs as she walked down with slow, unsteady steps. The middle-aged mare levitated a bottle of wine beside her as her purple eyes narrowed, then relaxed. "Oh, good. Twilight Sparkle?" Gray shot through her mane in premature aging, and wrinkles were forming creases on her face. She looked tired and drunk. "If you're here to check out a book, I'm afraid you're out of luck. EC 102, the book review. All books are going to be reviewed for appropriateness to conduct the well-being of Equestria." She scowled at the empty shelves and dirt piles. "I used to love this place," she said with a scowl before taking a drink from the bottle. I approached cautiously. You're Twilight Sparkle." "The one and only," she said with a better twist of her lips, spreading her hooves wide. "Or a piece of her. The garbage, that doesn't matter," she said as she waved the bottle around the building. "Nice endo-psycho-illusionary projection, huh? I wonder what all this represents, huh? The loss of my friends? My hypocrisy?" She saw me staring blankly and sighed. "Figures. First pony I get to talk to, and she's a moron." Okay, that stung, but still, getting pissed at a projection wouldn't help. Hypocrisy. She scowled at me. "Oh, don't be stupid. I was the biggest hypocrite in all of Equestria." She pointed at a picture of herself hanging askew on the wall. "Read. It's only kinda hard when I stood by and did nothing to stop Rarity's image from sucking everything remotely serious phrase from the shelves of Equestria." She sighed, took a long pull of the bottle, and stared down at the sloshing contents. "For 10 years, I did everything I could to help ponies. Luna, fucking Equestria. Every pony except the 5 ponies who really needed it." She took another drink and grimaced. I'm glad I never actually drank this swill." Okay, this was approaching critical levels of huh? What do you mean? You mean you're not, well, real? I'm a part of a mare who was, and all this is a reflection of that past. That's all I am. The worst parts, she said as she twisted a little smile, then shook the bottle at me. Twilight never drank. She should have, but she didn't. No, she just condemned her friend who was consumed by addiction, covered for her, lied for her. Everybody manipulated her, but she didn't drink herself. She set the bottle on the stairs. The other parts, they didn't seem to know, I said as I trotted towards her. How are you here? It's called poetic justice, she said with a snide little laugh. I'm getting everything I deserve. See, when I failed, again and again, to win the war for Luna, I got a bit depressed. We were close to hitting the 1 million mark on Poji County casualties. Fuck only knows how many zebras we'd slaughtered. Then Trueblood came to me with this highly classified project. Chimera. She blinked and smiled. You know about it? Huh. I didn't know about it. Golden Blood had shit going on that I couldn't imagine. It was crude and unfinished, but the second I read it, I had an idea. An army of alicorns. Unstoppable. I'd finally accomplished something. I perfected the impelled metamorphosis potion from Chimera's crude mutagenic junk. She eyed me over. I can see you've already had a dose of it yourself. What? I said as I looked at her. You call it taint, she said as she slumped on the stairs. So, even my crowning achievement is a grotesque failure. I frowned at the naked self-pity before me. This wasn't Twilight Sparkle. It was a part of her. The worst part. She looked up at the dirty ceiling. I found a mare I could manipulate into taking it. See? I'm so much better than Rarity. I trick mares into being my test subjects rather than use criminals. I located Trixie, who'd just barely clawed her life back together, and gave her an offer she couldn't refuse. Power, glory, fame. I might have thought I was helping her. Really, it was just the final nail in the coffin. I thought of the blue mare I'd laid with and couldn't argue. A mare in that state. So what happened? Bombs fell. Every pony died. She said with a shrug. More specifically, they fell right into the middle of the test. But, good news, my potion worked. Trixie got her power, her glory, her fame, and in thanks, she saved us all by pulling us into her, one after the next, glued together in that being, that monster I created. I stared at her with a frown, trying to figure out the pity party. Or was it self-pity? What about gardens? Her eyes stared away as she looked and took a slow pull from the bottle. Gardens was a dream. I made a few experiments, got the Restoration Megaspell to work in Tenpenny. The Arcanium Nullifying Matrix was tricky. Then there was the Contagion Divinication spell that had to be added. Then she sighed. All for nothing. Golden Blood talked me out of it. Luna wouldn't tolerate anything that would suggest she'd fail. So 2.5 years of my life wasted. And tens of thousands of ponies, while I wasted my time with a pet project that never came to pass. I stared at her in shock. She really didn't know. Golden Blood hid the truth from every pony, but Spike, and Spike had kept it to protect Twilight Sparkle. Probably for the best, Twilight murmured. If I had created it, the goddess would do everything to make sure it was destroyed. After all, if alicorns are perfect to survive in the wasteland, she'd have done all she could to destroy something that could save the wastes, or worse, she'd have me corrupt it. My words died in my throat. Was that true? It wasn't a waste. Maybe someday some pony could finish it? Yeah, I'm sure that'd be a mistake too. She said with a sniff. I should have listened to Golden Blood back at the beginning. I should have been responsible. None of us should have agreed. We should have found another way. Any other way. Such a mistake, she said as she grit her teeth. Pinkie Pie, why didn't I stop you? Why didn't I realize what Fluttershy had done? Why didn't I keep Rarity from gutting so many books? One-of-a-kind books! Why didn't I do the right thing? Why hadn't I gone another way? Why hadn't I convinced Morning Glory to leave Merrimere? Why didn't I leave 40 foals alive till some pony could help them? I should have. I'm sorry. Regret. Lacuna was a dump. A place where the goddess had dumped all the memories and feelings she hadn't wanted. If Lacuna was going to be separated, why not rid yourself of things you didn't want to feel? I trotted to Twilight, and did what I did best. I hugged her. I wish there was more I could tell you, but your life wasn't one big mistake. There were better parts of it. We didn't always see the good we do. I know you mattered to other ponies, and your friends. It wasn't all a mistake. I wish that were true, she murmured softly as everything around us fell away.